Welcome back to another Teacher's Table. Today is Tastic Tuesday. I'm your host, Michael Matera, and I love being here. Love seeing that we already have some people dropping comments into the side chat there. It's good times. It's good times, everybody. And I hope you guys had a good weekend. Here we are on another Tuesday in summer, and I had a great day yesterday. I got to admit, I'm a little nervous. My school, like many, is sort of reporting we are going to be reporting back to school, and I gotta just talk to you guys a little bit because I'm nervous. Now, this isn't the episode, this isn't the reason for the show or anything, but it's on my mind, and as it's on my mind, I feel like we should bring it to Teacher's Table and chit chat about it a little bit. And how are you guys feeling about opening up schools and how it's kind of our control? Like we're just the teachers. We got to do what we're told to do, but it makes me nervous. It compromises my family. It means I won't get to see my family, like my mom and dad, because once I interact with like 1,000 people a day, like nope, not seeing my family. So it puts tremendous strain on us all. So I'm curious, what are you guys thinking? Let's see who's here, and let's see if anybody can answer that question, how they're feeling. Don's here. Good morning. That's already making me feel good. Carrie's here. We got some great ones. Amanda's here. Welcome. Phil's made it back. I dig it. And we have Elizabeth. We got David. All right, David. Got another David. Will's made it from Michigan. Kathy Sue from Oregon. Nick Davis made it. I absolutely love Nick Davis. Again, I just want to give credit. This whole Teacher's Table, in a big part, large part, was thanks to Nick Davis. He was talking to me and said, why don't we do something like this? Yvonne, good morning. All right, now we're getting into some of your guys' answers to how you feeling about opening up. We'll see. Let's see what we got. Don, it's on my mind as well. We are opening up with no real social distancing, 5 days a week, mask required. So I will say my school, at least the things they put out, there are these rules, right? We're going to try to keep people... 6 feet's not an option. Our classrooms are too small for 6 feet, but we are going to try to separate kids, into kind of rows, if you will. Masks are going to be required at my school, but I teach middle school, like the idea that they would actually be doing the social distancing, I just find hard to believe, right? And I just wonder how much policing I'm going to have to do, right? So we're going to bring them all in person so that my relationship with them can change into, hey, make sure you face forward because we're all supposed to be facing that way, right? Hey, get back. No, you're in that dude's bubble. Like, I don't know if that's worth going back. Like, I don't even know if that's school, right? Like, we're not actually getting content then. We're just getting me policing them. But yet we've said the reason to bring them back is for social interactions. I don't know. Doesn't add up to me. Let's see. I've been experiencing quite a bit of anxiety this past few days. I'm thinking about next school. Man, I'm with you. Like, it is on my mind more and more. Let's see what our Canadian friend here has to say. Good morning from Canada, everyone. I am worried about the return to in-class learning, and I can't imagine the stress all you American friends are under. I mean... it just seems nuts. I saw a graph yesterday, somebody tweeted, where, it had like all the month's cases, and over on this side of the graph, there was very few cases, and it had a little arrow, and it was like, this is the moment we said it's unsafe to go to school. We better close down, right? And the graph's like down here. And then like, wham, and it's like, and here we're having conversations about we need to reopen school. Like, it's crazy to me. Elizabeth, what do you think? Nervous here, a district near Indianapolis just reversed face-to-face and are going virtual until further notice. Oh, this gives me hope because I feel like this is what happened in the beginning. I mean, in the beginning, people were like, we're not going to cancel school. No way are we going to go to virtual. And then it was like, once one state was bold enough to say like this is unsafe for our kids, well then like the next state over did, the next state over, the next state, and all of a sudden, you know, like America closed schools. So it gives me hope when I hear districts sort of shutting things down. Deborah, good morning. Sorry about this topic, but like it was on my mind. It's not all what we're going to talk about, Deborah, but we're chatting a little bit about our anxiety moving into next year as we talk about in-person learning. Let's see. David from Halifax says our province has told us use anything yet we don't go back until September. All right. Like, morning, Jennifer Knox. Good to have you here. Big decisions coming around. Let's see if we can brighten up our day, and if we can get that light goal of 24.5 again. Let's see if we can do that. That would bring some cheer. Big decisions being made today in my state. I wonder what those big decisions are. I wonder if is there an option of us not going back in your state? That'd be awesome. Amanda, we're opening up full time. Masks are only required in common areas. I'm very nervous about this plan. To be honest, I'm with you. I mean, like, I just don't get it. I don't get. Well, I mean, I guess I get it. It's all economics. I guess I just wish somebody would just say that. Just admit it's not really about children or school. It's about economics, in my opinion. Morning, Kyle. Good to have you here. Let's see, Will. We have been completely in the dark about our opening, how it will go, and that's frustrating. So at the end, like on that point, Will, at the end of the school year, we had a staff meeting, and I stayed after the staff meeting to talk to my principal and the assistant principal. And I know the decision's even out of their hands. It's going to be a board decision. But, I said, I just want you to know, because we did virtual like synchronous learning in the end. And I said, that kind of worked because we knew the kids. And I said, I only know really right now 2 ways to teach. In person, like collaborative, like school, like the school we all knew, the one we left pre-March. And the other way I know how to teach is actually online, because I've done now 4 months of teaching online. I've learned some tricks, I learned some tips, and I said, at the beginning of the school year, I am already always nervous that it goes well, that I roll things out, that I remember kids' names, that I connect with them, that I express my rules in a way that doesn't I don't know, that it all makes sense, right? I'm trying to do my darn best. And I said, please keep that in mind when you look at structures for us to go back. I want to go back in a way that I know. And it doesn't seem like we can go back in the pre-March teaching style. Get that. That's not safe. But then like this weird sort of hybrid, people are in the classroom, but they're going to stay distant. They're going to wear masks. We're going to possibly as teachers, I think one of the plans is we're going to rotate rooms so they don't move. They're in kind of cohorts. I just don't know if that's not, I don't know if that's best for children. I don't know at that point being at school is being at school then, because the middle schoolers are used to mixing up, and there's a reason we do that. There's a good reason we mix students up, and it's partly for that socialization. Now they're going to be in cohorts of you are with these kids all day, every day. And I don't know how to run a class when no one can really talk to each other. Because if your partner is 3 feet away and you have a room full of partners and you're talk to your partner 3 feet away, that's going to be crazy loud. I can't really walk around and monitor it because I got to stay away from their bubble. I just don't get it. Where virtual, I at least understand it. Not my top choice. I'd like to go back normal, but it is what it is. All right. Nick admitting super anxious. I just think we need to change from March when we close. Nothing. Why are we opening schools? Actually, some things have changed. Caseloads are through the roof, right? States that have chosen to open up are filling up their medical centers. And now we're basically going to say that all states are going to open up schools, which is the greatest common grounds of everyone. It's the intersection. Whew. Let's see, what did Jennifer say down in Texas? We just got a big decision there. There is no decision. We are anticipating many at home learning and some at school. I have no idea where I will be. I'm with you. Ooh, we're at 24 on the likes. We need 25, 24.5 rounds up to 25. So we need one more before we get our confetti party. Just saying, people. Thank you. We did it. We got to 25. Boom. We made our like goal today. As always, guys, thank you for being here, being present. And I really appreciate this topic. Again, it's not our Tastic Tuesday topic. I had one lined up, but we'll see where this conversation goes. And if it's what's needed, that's what we're here at the table for, is to have the needed conversations. And a little bit of joy there. We got our like goal today. Fantastic. All right, so let's see. Mr. Matera, we closed schools in March, and the only thing that has changed is that they're exactly right. Exactly. Let's see, what does Phil say? He's in New Jersey. To be honest, I'm quite nervous about returning to the classroom right now. Our district does not have a concrete plan, but it is looking like A/B schedule with one day of virtual for all. Yeah. I prefer that schedule, I think, but again, I don't know. I like the A/B schedule because you actually cut the class sizes down. My school is just going with full class sizes. Now I work at a smaller school, so our full class sizes are about 15 to 18 this coming year, because we actually added a section. Nonetheless, I used to teach 4 sections. Now I teach 5, which then reduces the numbers because you teach 5 sections. But state of Wisconsin really recommended. They're not like a law that you have to follow it, but our educational board released some recommendations for school, and one that definitely jumped out at me is no more than 10 in a classroom. Like, you have to do an A/B schedule if you're going to do that, and that's no more than. Like, it was kind of like, if you don't have to be up at the 10 mark, don't be at the 10 mark. But again, they're not required. Let's see what Ishan says. Hey, Mr. Matera, I agree. I would rather do online learning rather than social distancing school. Doesn't the school have an option so that kids they can do online learning? I don't know. I'll be honest. The school, I have very little information from the school. Our school put out kind of a blog post about what opening looks like, and we'll see where it goes. I mean, I hope good decisions are made, and I know good people are working on it. So I don't know the full plan, but I think that's what us teachers are saying. We don't know the full plan, which is also a scary thing as educators, because the beginning of the year is already a little anxiety ridden. I've been teaching for 17 years or something like that, and I still get nervous to start school. I still want it to be just right, and now with so much out of our control, I really wish we would almost call it early. Like, we are doing virtual, because then I can at least put my head around that and think about how I want to start with virtual school, how I can do some Google Meet, what do I want to say? Google Meet team building. Like, I don't even know what that looks like, but they're important things to me. Let's see what Kyle says. I'm nervous, Mr. Matera, for that reason. It isn't going to school as we know it. Is going to be socially distanced, mask, and not the same fun atmosphere we work so hard for. Yeah, and again, what we keep hearing politicians talk about is this idea that we need schools to be open because kids are missing that socialization, right? Like the American Pediatric Association say that's like such a valuable piece for kids that we need to have them in these spaces. But I'm just nervous about the change in relationship, because I definitely don't want to get sick. I don't want my family members to get sick. I don't want to bring it home to my daughter, or my daughter lives at my house and then my ex-wife's house. I don't want to have her transmit it, right? So with that said, am I just going to be spending half my day just policing middle schoolers to wear the mask, face forward, get outside of people's bubbles, make sure you space everything out? I don't know. That doesn't seem like socialization's happening. It sounds like I'm just going to be a drill sergeant for a year, and I don't know how much education is going to get done then with that. These are concerns I have. Now, granted, this is out of fear, and I will fully admit that right now this is a little out of fear. I am sure it will work smoother than what I just said, and I realize that. But But that shows you the anxiety we all have, right? Let's see, Regina. I completely get your concerns about middle school. I teach at an alternative middle school where they are not great at following directions, although our numbers are low. It's part of being middle school. It's actually the part of middle school I love. I mean, I love that kids are kids and like they're kid first, right? And learner second. And that's just the way middle school is built. And as a middle school teacher, you have to kind of understand that. You have to know that, like, my lesson plan had these 10 points I wanted to get across. There's no way we're getting to these 10. So you have to almost triage in the moment. Like, what are the 7 things I'm going to try to get across? What are the 6 things I'm going to try to get across? And what am I going to do with that, like, bought time that I just gained because I dropped 4 things? But it's a bit of that trade-off because they're kid first and learner second. Let's see. Hey, good to see you, Rochelle. Thanks for making it on Teacher's Table. Good luck on the plan. This is what I think we all want. We want a plan. Elizabeth says there is a virtual option, but teachers have not been informed on how it will look. Prep both kinds of lessons. Matera can visit the elderly mother if I am exposed. Yeah. So this is what I was saying. Like, a friend of mine, John Meehan, posted a picture on Twitter, and it broke my heart, and it's so true. He had a picture of his family he visited about a week ago. They're like 3 hours away. He drove up there, and it's this lovely shot on some East Coast beach, right, with his like brother. I mean, it's the whole family, right? Just picture whole family. And he just tweeted, like, the moment I go back to school, like, I won't see these people for a year because he is just too much of a risk to see these people. So that's what we're asking our teachers to, like, basically cut all connections with the people they love so that the people they love aren't at risk. That's a big ask. I think we're going to go backwards in terms of pedagogy. We almost have to, Don. We almost have to. Like, we're literally, in the 12 years I've worked at university school, I did not have, like, desks in rows except for on test day. I did that, and other than that, I've been on just tables where it's everybody's shared discussion, right? Group work, this kind of thing for 12 years. And now we're going back to rows. We have to. Again, I'm not making fun of that part of the plan, but the reality is, what can you teach? Like, how do you teach? What activities do you do when everybody has to basically stay in their seat? I almost venture to say, like, the only logical way to move forward is to basically design your class like an online learning class that's in person, which basically means kids are just going to come in and sort of log into something and start sort of working through some things. Maybe you lecture to them and then they work through some more things privately. Sure, maybe there's like a online place that you have online written discussions, but it's like, isn't that weird? Like, we say we're going back again for the social experience, but really the only way for me to think through my class is to basically run it like an online class. These are real concerns, and not that that's a bad thing. Online class, lots of learning happens, but I don't know. I just wonder. I think that's the advice my school has given us too, is that you have to be prepared. You have to be able to on a dime, because we don't know. The state at any point may shut down schools. Case may come in our school, and I don't know how we're going to handle that. Are we shutting down the whole thing? So the only thing they're telling us is, like, prepare to be incredibly flexible this year. And that's good advice. That's sound advice. But again, as a teacher, it leaves you, when you start to think about how you can be flexible, it really leaves you to, I almost have to design this online class, right? Thank you, Carrie. Again, this was by no means the Tool-tastic Tuesday I had anticipated. I'm just going to save this tool. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. We're just going to finish off this discussion this way. But, thank you guys for letting me sort of talk this through with you. I love the comments you're sharing. I love hearing what your schools are doing. I love hearing your sort of opinions. I mean, like, I want to know what it's like from other educators. What are they thinking? Let's see. Nick, thanks for bringing up the topic. It has been on my mind. No problem, buddy. Like, this is what we're here for. Ishan. It was just something cute I did, Ishan, if you're still here. Let's see. I'm way behind you guys. If these are like the like comments, maybe I want to jump all the way back up to current time and scroll back up. Uh, I don't know what this means. Yeah, Mr. Matera, voice is lower than the rest of the sounds on my computer. I don't know what that means. Is my mic wrong? Can you guys not hear me? I hope that's not the case. Now I'm freaked out. Why did I jump down to current time? Darn you, Don. Uh, I actually love the word pivot. I use it a lot with my students. I use it with my daughter. We talk about pivoting, like our attitudes. Um, it's a great word, and yeah, it definitely works nowadays. Jennifer Knox, flexible, more like Jello. So true. I'm glad I jumped down here now. Everyone's touting it is not going to happen like they think. It can't, right, Regina? It can't happen. Uh, and I mean, as a teacher too, we know like kind of when you give an inch, they take a mile. At least in middle school, and so like for people's safety, we have to. And the other question I have too, I don't know, we haven't really discussed it, or maybe we did. Maybe I haven't scrolled up enough. I'm also wondering. I work at a private school. Like I don't have the same medical benefits that public school has, and like if I get COVID, a couple things happen. Like I have to pay a pretty hefty deductible, to which I've saved up to like have that in case of emergency. But like it's taken me about 3 years to save that deductible amount, and it could just get wiped out by a decision we kind of knew was coming. But like that's ridiculous. Like no one can plan for that rainy day. And then sick days. Like if you're out for like, well, you have to quarantine for at least 14 days, but it's got to, I'm assuming it's got to be 14 days after you get better. So, and I've read COVID taking, 4 weeks, 5 weeks to get better. I'm super nervous. Like, does that mean I'm kind of out of a job for 6 weeks? Like, that's all my sick days. We're only allowed to accrue so many. I mean, that would wipe out like a decade of accrued sick days, for me. So, um, these are real concerns I have. You know. Let's see. I like the Jello pivot conversation that's going on with you guys. Mm, Don, you need to tell me about this voice lower thing. I'm still waiting to hear back from you. Giovanni, I'm glad you're letting me know you can hear me. Thank you. What else we got here? Let's see what Kyle says. I think it's insane that some people are annoyed at us for having the conversations online and insisting on us just going back. Mian made a pretty good point online. I agree. Like I said, that Mian post, it, I'm just going to be open. It made me cry a little bit. Like a tear came in my eye because I hadn't seen my parents. Like, I haven't hugged my parents in a long time. And the email, I happened to get the email from school that we, like, hey, prepare for going back, prepare this, prepare this. And it made me break down because I was like, Mian's right. Like, I won't be able to see these people for like the rest of the school year then. So it was, I don't know, it was hard to take. Definitely. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Ishan says, at the beginning of this, my parents were saying how the government would be back to normal by the time I go to college in 2026. Do you think that's somewhat accurate? I have no idea. I mean, as a history teacher, I do find this fascinating. Lots of conversations coming to the surface about government and how, like, what safety nets we put in place. I think there's been some real talk and discussions about, is the way we do it right? Kind of the neoliberalism ideas that we have here, where it's, work harder, work. Your healthcare is attached to work. Everything's around work. Well, what happens when like millions of Americans can't work? They just literally can't. That whole system sort of breaks down. So I don't know. I don't know when it'll return to normal. Mm, Adam, it has been. Welcome. Glad you could make it. We we didn't actually get to a tool. This was my opening story, and just was asking the table, but it turned into an entire conversation. What does Giovanni say? I'm nervous about going back, but I'm trying to stay focused and think of ways to keep myself safe. I ordered face shields to wear with my mask. That's not a bad idea. Like I see that when I go grocery shopping or whatever. Once every like 2 weeks, I see the face shields. That's not a bad idea. And about keeping positive, I didn't mean to make this all negative, and I hope we haven't taken it that way. It's just the reality. Like, I'm nervous, and I just hope people above me make good choices. And by people above me, I don't just mean at the school I work. I mean, our school boards and our county execs and our governors and our politicians, at the state as well as federal government, realize like the cost of doing this, both educationally. At our school, we did online learning really well. I was really, really proud of us. And I mean, I couldn't believe all the things that we overcame to make that happen and make that happen really well. Yes, I would prefer to be back. I get that that's everybody's wish, but that doesn't make it the reality. Oh, volume at 100 and not loud. I don't know. I didn't change anything on my end, so it should be. We should be just as good. Let's see here. Yeah, Jason, like I said, I apologize. This became the chat, but I think it's okay to sometimes push aside things and have that real talk the way like it needed to happen. It's important. Let's see. Let's see. I know you did not mean it that way. I've been thinking about this. This is a good conversation. Well, I'm glad that it's been a good conversation for you. It has for me. It's felt good to sort of share that with the table. Let's see. What does Adam say? My substitute company sends out a lot of information about the coming year. There is a huge need for subs, but they have had almost a third of their subs put their status as unavailable for the fall. That's another thing. Like, how are the substitutes going to work? I don't know. Guys, very different teacher table than I had anticipated. Again, sorry for that. But maybe not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I think it's important we had this discussion, and I appreciate you hearing my thoughts. I really loved how much you guys shared your thoughts and your situations, your questions. I loved you all being here. We made it to our like goal. We made it well past our like goal. We got to 30 likes. That's pretty impressive. So thank you for being part of the conversation. We will have another Tooltastic Tuesday, I promise, and it'll be a great tool. But I think this was needed at the table. I want to also just remind you all that Hive Summit is coming up August 1st through the 14th. Plenty of great conversations. I'm editing the videos now, and it's like just, they are good stuff. We're planning actually to do some teacher tables with some of the presenters throughout that experience so that we can get their presentation, but then you can also get a nice live session with them. And I hope you guys are willing to make those teacher tables come alive, inviting other people. If you haven't done so already, please pass information of Hive Summit along to others so we can get more and more teachers in here having these great, powerful discussions, as well as building just a wonderful PLN together. As always, I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a good start to your week. It's Tuesday here. Have a good day. All right, guys. Take care and get after it. See ya.